Good morning, Cappuccino. Here is our warm-up for today, Wednesday, April 22nd. So we are going back in time a little bit, but this is going to help us do something new today. So we are going to evaluate when x is equal to 3. So in our first problem here, 5 times x. Okay, when the number is next to the letter, it means we're multiplying. We are going to have 5 groups of x. But what is x? X is 3. We're going to substitute 3 in for the x. So this is the same as 5 parentheses 3, which gives me 15. Okay, that's evaluating when x equals 3. We're going to do it again here. Where the x is, I'm going to put parentheses, and I'm going to put in my 3. So I'm going to have 2 parentheses 3 plus 1. Okay, if it helps, let's go ahead and parse. Underline, plus sign, underline, and slash. So we need to simplify this term. 2 times 3, 2 groups of 3 is 6. So then I have 6 plus 1, which is equal to 7. Okay? Next one, again, here's my x. I'm going to put in my 3. So I have 3 divided by 3. What's 3 divided by 3? That just equals 1. Right? Okay, we're going to do it again, but this time we're going to do it with x equals negative 3. So we're going to do the exact same thing again, but with x equals negative 3. So where the x is, we're going to put in a negative 3. So 5 parentheses, negative 3. And I can underline slash. So I have 5 times negative 3 is negative 15. Positive times a negative is a negative. 5 groups of negative 3, that's a lot of negatives. Okay, next one, same thing. I'm going to change the x to a negative 3. So 2 times negative 3 plus 1, I can parse to help me. Underline, plus sign, underline, multiply. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. 2 groups of negative 3. If I have 2 groups of negative 3, that's a lot of negatives. And then negative 6 plus 1, I have more negatives than positives, so that would give me negative 5. Okay, and the next one, again, I'm going to change my x to a negative 3. So I have negative 3 divided by 3, and there's my dogs barking in the background. A negative divided by a positive is a negative 1. Okay, now we're going to use the same idea to help us make a table of values. So we've been graphing tables of values. Now today we are going to create tables of values. So today we're going to complete a table of values from a rule. This is called a rule. See how it kind of looks like what we were just doing? This is our rule. It says y is equal to 5 times x. I want to know what is the value of y when x equals negative 1. Does that look familiar? We're going to take that negative 1 and we're going to put it in for the x. So we're going to write y equals 5 parentheses. What's our value for x? Negative 1. Now, just like we did on the warm-up, we're going to evaluate this. What's 5 times negative 1? Negative 5. So we get y equals negative 5. So for our rule, when x is negative 1, y is negative 5. And we're going to make a table. We're going to put this in a table, but not until the end. Okay, we're going to ask another question. Next question. What is the value of y when x equals 0? So we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to take our rule. y equals 5, parentheses, where the x is, we're going to put in, this time we're going to put in 0. So we're changing what we're putting in for x. 5 times 0 is just 0, so y equals 0. So when x is 0, y is 0. Okay, next one. What is the value of y when x equals 1, positive 1? We're going to do the same thing again. Y equals 5, and where the x is, now we're going to put in 1. 5 times 1 is 5, so y equals 5. Okay? Now we're going to organize this in a table. So we're going to complete a table. Okay, we could do more of these, but I'm running out of space. So let's complete the table. So we're going to complete the table. We are going to have a table of values. So my table is going to look like this. Okay, here's my question. How do I complete this table? Well, I tell you that x is -1. You have to tell me what's y. Well, when x is -1, what's y? -5. So we're going to put the -5 right here. -1, -5. This is the same as a point. We could graph this. -1, -5. See, we put it into the table. -1, -5. Now we're going to do the next one. When x is 0, what's y? 0. So what goes here? 0. Y is 0. When x is 0, y was 0. Okay, and the next one. When x is 1, what's y? Y is 5. See, I could write that as a coordinate pair, 1 and 5. Okay? Okay, let's do, so MathSpace is going to have problems that look like this, where they ask you to calculate one value at a time and then put it in a table. But then they're going to ask you in a faster way. They're going to say, they're going to give you a rule. So they're going to give you, say, y equals 5x plus 1. And they're just going to say complete the table. And they're going to give you a table where they tell you the x numbers. So they might say -4, 0, 4, and 8. They might say this. And you have to complete the table. Oh my gosh, what do we do? Well, we want to say, well, if x is equal to -4, what is y? Well, y is going to be 5 times, okay, we're putting in our parentheses, -4, and then plus 1. So I can parse this. I need to multiply first. 5 times -4 is -20. -20 plus 1, -20 plus 1 is -19. So y is equal to -19. So where do I put that? In my table. That goes right here, -19. Now I'm going to do it again, but with x equals 0. Well, what if x is equal to 0? Well, I'm going to use the same rule again. Y equals 5, but where the x is, I'm going to put 0 plus 1. 5 times 0 is 0. Okay, I could parse that. Sorry, forgot to parse. Plus 1. 0 plus 1 is 1. So y, I keep breaking my lead, y equals 1. And that goes right here. So when x is 0, y is 1. Okay, we're going to do it again. When x is 4, we're going to use our rule again. Y equals 5 times 4 plus 1. Let's parse it. 5 times 4 is 20. 20 plus 1 is 21. So y is 21. So when x is 4, y is 21. And then finally, what about when x is 8? When x is 8, y is 5 times 8 plus 1. So parse it. 5 times 8 is 40. 40 plus 1 is 41. So y is 41. And I have completed my table. Now, that's what we're doing today. Tomorrow, we're going to then take our table and we're going to graph the points. We're going to plot the points on a coordinate plane. But for today, this is it. We're just completing the table. So that is what you're going to do in math space. So math space starts with problems like this, where they ask you each step before you complete the table. And then they're going to have some where you just have to do it yourself. You just have to figure out all the work yourself. Okay, we will have more office hours on Thursday. Thursday, we will have a Zoom meeting at noon, 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock noon. Okay, lunchtime. All right, hope to see you there. Take care. Bye-bye.